Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to the Assembly of Yisra'el. We are a Hebrew Torah practicing assembly. If you are searching for the ancient path and teachings that are grounded solely in the Torah of Yahuwah, then feel free to join us. Please like, comment, share and subscribe.
Shabbat Shalom. Greetings to the Most High Yahuwah, creator of heaven and earth, creator of all things that our eyes behold, that our minds perceive, and our hearts can imagine. We are indeed grateful to be able to gather again in this place, regardless of how blissful Sukkot is every year. This is the place that we call home. And as such, we are grateful whenever we return and find it still standing. And we know that is testament to Yahuwah's goodness. And I trust that everyone's properties were standing when they returned. And if all is not well, then at least some things are well and all will be well. Hallelujah. So today, we're going to look at something that we would have gone through recently in the Arab Shabbat study, that's Friday evening study. I was thinking to myself that this teaching needs to be on our YouTube page. Should probably be the highlight of the page, so persons can have an understanding as to who we are, because we know there's a lot of religions, a lot of divisions and denominations. I don't like the word denominations. It sounds too close to demon. Demonimation or what you want. So we want to separate ourselves from the different classifications that exist in the world. You know, there are Jews, there are Israelites, there are Muslims, there are Christians, and within Christians they have the Roman Catholics. Within the Jews or the Judaism, you have the Sephardic Jews, you have the Ashkenazi Jews, all different kind of Jews. Christianity riddled just as much. Muslim not as much, but there are divisions in Muslim. You have the divisions who read the Quran and they take it radically and they go and strap a bomb to themselves and blow up the place. Like Allah Akbar and bomb up the place. So you have the different divisions. You have the different classifications and religions. So who are we? Are we Israelites? Are we Jews? Are we Hebrews? And just as with all other things, whenever we have a question, we go where for our answer? Beginning of what? Beginning of the scriptures. So we take all of our answers from the scripture. We don't take man's word or man's terms and terminologies that they coin. Right? So if we want to know who we are, can you go and ask a Christian who you are? Can you ask a pastor? Can you ask a rabbi? Can you ask a monk priest? No. We have to ask our Creator, right? And we know that our Creator now speaks to us through His Word. Lovely. So we have to go to the Word to figure out who are we. Are we a religion? Are we just a group of people who give ourselves a name? Is it a biological thing? Lineage, ancestry? What are we? Because even if it's biological and it's a lineage and an ancestry, then we should be able to say then, if I am from Brady, then I am a Bradyan or a Bradyite. You prefer the heights? Okay, sorry. Then Diego heights and all the heights. Alright. So we should be able to tell persons who we are. Because persons see us. And if you are like me, if you go on the road like myself, you have similar experiences. Persons will see you and ask, what religion are you a part of? What are you? Who are you? How do we answer them? Anybody have those experiences? Huh? You have to explain to a school why your child dressed the way he dresses, or she dresses, or behave, or have to go on these festivals every year. Do you have to explain these things? Then you have to be able to tell these people who you are. The other day, when we just started wear turban, we go to Spanish Town to buy a fridge. And when we go in the store, every head turn, and everybody run come to it because man come in with turban, them man have money. And to all them bum rush, we will go for fridge and we left with fridge and microwave. Buy store. And persons in the store asked us, who are you? Are you Muslim? And they will ask you. They will suggest something because they think they know. So we have to be able to answer. Set the record straight because we don't want to be misclassified. If you don't have on your turban and you have the locks, a man just automatically say, Rasta, Rasta youth. Now so you go. That happened to you? Happens to me, even before the locks. Man hear me a reason and say, oh, me talk, I sound like a Rasta. So now we are going to set the record straight so we can set people straight. When they ask us, we can give them a proper answer. Alright? How we sound? Because we're coming from the feast and we realize that there is going to be a regathering, and there is going to be a regathering of a certain set of people. We need to identify today who is that people. Are they Israelite? Are they Jews? Are they Hebrews? So let us get into it. First thing on the agenda, Israelite or Israeli. You notice that the people in Israel nowadays, they don't call themselves Israelite. A man from Israel is called what? Israeli. Don't call himself Israelite. It's called Israeli. And you have the six-pointed star of David. You ever read in the Bible and see David say, I have one star where I have 6 points? Huh? Never see it yet, don't. And we read David's story because David's story is one of the nicest stories in the Bible. We go through it multiple times. You ever see David say, I have a star with 6 points? No. It's not there. So it shows you that mankind will make things and ascribe it to people incorrectly. Now so you go. Because David never created a star. But a man create this, put it as a symbol of a religion and say it is the star of David. Anyways, this term here, let us look at it. In the Bible. Strong's. So you have Israeli and you have Yisra'el or Israel. Look at the two of them now. Nice and neat. So the top one is the Israeli. That's why it ends with. Starts with a yod, ends with a yod. Starts with a yod, ends with a yod. Israeli. Israeli. This one is Israel. Starts with a yod, ends with the lamed. Israel. Done. This one is the name of who? No, sir. Who named Israel? Jacob. His name was changed from Jacob to Yasharal. From supplanter or deceiver to upright with Elohim. Now so you go. Alright, so this is a common, what you call it, proper noun. Somebody's name. This is somebody's name. Follow the argument now, you know. This is a man's name. Just like you name Brady, you have 12 sons, your name is Brady. When we see a jing bang them a come back here, we say watch Brady them. Now so you go. When your family come in, what do people them say? Brady, what I want to say? Brady Bunch. When Morgan come, we say Morgan Minions. What we say for Rash now? Rash what? Give me an R word. Eh? Rash Racklins are come. Rash and him Racklins. Something. Right? So this is a man's name. Israel is a man's name. Then you have this term, the Israeli. So when you're reading in your average translation, the full translation, I don't afraid to call it full translation. A lot of places you're going to find that it says Israelite or Israeli. And it's not there in the Hebrew. Translator put it there. You see the Israeli, this one up top, it's only found in 2 passages in the Bible. 2 dead passages. 2 no, not dead. 2 normal passages in the scriptures. Follow the argument and follow me carefully. Cool and deadly because we have only for time. Sing a song. So we put it there big for everybody to see. So the first one is the Israeli, what they would call Israelite. So it's the Israeli or Yisra'elite or Yisra'elite. See, it starts with the Yod, ends with the Yod. Yod, Shin, Resh, Aleph, Lamed, Yod. This is Israel or Yasharal. This is the man's name. Yod, Shin, Resh, Aleph, Lamed. Yashar, Al. Yashar, Al. Upright with Elohim. When you look at the dictionary will tell you that it means to contend with Elohim. Come from Yashar, Hebrew word Yashar, and Al, which is Elohim, or Elohim. Watch me now. Write down these 5 verses in your book and read them from your full translation, and then you go to the Scriptures 2009 when you're at your home and see how real translation deal with it. All of those verses in the full translation, the King James, will say an Israelite or the Israelites. The Hebrew doesn't read like that. Israeli is not there. It's dead Yasharal. Yasharal. Dead Israel. Israel. And Israel. A man of Israel. So where the King James put an Israelite man, the real translation, the proper translation says a man of Israel. You understand? So the translation in the English will read Israelite, but the Hebrew that is there is not Israeli. It's just Israel, the proper name of the man, Israel. So it means then that something not right. Because if you have all of these people, and so much people around the world calling themselves Israelite, you have some who said some is imposter, and some saying that we are the real ones, and some say no, you are the real one, and we are the real one. But you can only find this word 2 times in the book. You don't find that alarming? Something strange. Something is not right. So let us look at Israeli and see if we can find it in the book. Israeli, what's the argument now? Leviticus 24, 10 and 11. Let us look at verse 10 first. The son of an Israeli woman, whose father was an Egyptian man, went out among the children of Yasharal, and the Israeli woman's son and a man of Yasharal strove in the camp. Translator, mash up the thing now, because watch it. You see all of these in green? Israeli. But the last one then put Israel. Look at it. See the Hebrew here? Went out the son of woman, Israelitish. See it here? Yod, Shin, Resh, Aleph, Lamed, Yod, Tav, Israelite. See that? Israelite. Yod, Tav, It. That is what is there. Whose father was, and he tell you about him father was an Egyptian. So you start to realize, watch the argument now. In this instance, where the word is used, you realize that the youth that they are referencing to have a mother who is from where? Israel. And the father is from where? Egypt. That sound like hybrid. That sound like mixed race. Don't. Alright. That is when you see the word used, Let us look at verse 11. Oh, this is the continuation of verse 10 in the Hebrew. See there? His father was an Egyptian among the children of Israel. They strove together in the camp. This son of the Israelitish, and see them put woman in bracket because it's not there in the text. So it should actually read, this son are the Israelite son. But it said the Israelite woman son. So it's calling the woman an Israelite, but it's not there in the text. It is referring to the young man is an Israelite. Because the young man have shared ancestry. He have an Israel mother and an Egypt father. Shared ancestry. If you want to call it dual citizenship, you call it so. And a man of Israel. So when you say a man of Israel, it sounds as if it is saying that he's fighting with a man of Israel. No. It's saying already go out and fight in the camp of the children of Israel up here. So down here, so now it is saying that the Israelite, the son, is the Israelite and the man are Israeli. So that tell us that him not have full blown Yisra'el. You follow? It's not a full blown Yisra'el. That is when they use the term. Remember me tell you 2 times it is used. This is one place where it is used. Numbers 24, 10 and 11. And then we're going to look at the next one. Let us look at verse 11. The Israeli woman's son blasphemed the name and cursed. So they brought him to Moses. Now his mother's name was Shelomith, the daughter of Dibri, of the tribe of Dan. So them tell you straight. The mother come from the tribe of where? Dan. What you know about Dan? We're reading a Dan testament at the feast. Where Dan tell him son themselves? You will be the first to go off into promiscuity. What is promiscuity? You take women from other nations. And the woman do the same. She go to an Egyptian man. So that's another place where it is used. Numbers 24, 10 and 11. And it is used in the context where there is mixing. Whether or not you want to call the woman Israelite or the son Israelite or the father Israelite, mixing will take place. And so these people are not full blown. So you start to realize that this term may have been a term that was coined by the people of the day as a derogatory term, just like concubine. You notice, I show you when I was doing this presentation about wives and concubine that Yahweh don't use the word concubine. Yahweh said the woman is a what? Wife. Is the people call her concubine because the people have a classist table that they put people in the different classes and say, listen, if you come in after me, a concubine me call her. It's not Yahweh's term. Yahweh don't use this term. I'm showing you. 2 Samuel 17:25. The next place it is used. Absalom appointed Amasa over the army instead of Joab. Now Amasa was the son of a man whose name was Yisra'el. Follow the argument now, because it's easy to get confused, because remember the translators will put punctuation marks when Hebrew don't carry any punctuation mark. Watch it. So Absalom appointed Amasa. So our focus is a man called Amasa over the army instead of Joab. What is the problem with that now? Joab is a full blown. But Amasa was the son of a man whose name was Yisra'el. And it's an Israelite. So you think it's Yisra'el, it is saying that he's an Israelite, No. Amasa is the Israelite. Amasa is the Israelite. Amasa's father is Yisra'el. Amasa is the Israelite. Watch the argument. Yisra'el went into Abigail, the daughter of Nahash, the sister of Seruiah, Joab's mother. So the Israelite is Amasa. How we know? See it here in the Hebrew. Israeli. Yod, the hay before it means the or of. Yod, Shin, Resh, Aleph, Lamed, Yod. Ends with a Yod. Israeli. Oh, we know. You have to go to Chronicles. The second account. Remember I tell you that first and second Chronicles is a second witness to Kings and Samuel. Watch Chronicles. Chronicles tell us about Amasa. Chronicles 2. First Chronicles 2:17. Abigail bore Amasa. No, the same thing we seen in something a while ago. Abigail bore Amasa, and the father of Amasa was Yisra'el the Ishmaelite. So again we see a man with an Israel mother and an outside nation father. And them call him what? Israelite. That's the only two places you see the term used. So the term Israelite or Israeli or Israelitish, and you're going to realize also that that is why some people, you realize them call them ish. So you hear Jewish. Because you see the suffix ish, it means similar or like, kind of. You're not full blown, but you're almost there. You ever hear a man say, you're hungry? They say ish. Hungry-ish. That means you're not really hungry, but you could have eat something. You're not really Israel, but you could have passed to Israel. Ish, you have a little piece. Man say I'm Scottish, I'm Spanish. You notice when you speak Spanish, them call you Spanish because you are displaying traits of Spanish people, which is the Spanish language, brethren. That's how the ish business come in. That's why the Israelite ish. So you're ish, you're kind of Israel. I done the argument done this with Israel, no brethren. So I want to tell me now, are you Israelite? Eh? Are you Israelite? Are you Israeli? You go fight the people over there, so for the title now? Over Jerusalem? Israelite or Israeli? Eh? Them alright. Oh. Jews. You know about Jews? So it just pop up, spring up in the land. That means that you come from Boya. No say go. When a man says a native, it means you come from Boya. Born here, the Jamaican tongue man say, I man born here. Yeah, want to continue? Me no remember your say go. Native. So the Torah tells us about the native born. The Ezra. So we have to look at the native born. Because we have to establish some things today. Because we don't want persons who aren't necessarily sure of their genealogy to get weary and think that they don't have a place among us. Because Yahuwah is very strategic in his thing. And remember, all of us come from Adam. And if you don't want to go as far back as Adam, then all of us come from Noah. That's how the argument go. Thank you. So the Ezra. First place, we're looking at Exodus 12, 48 and 49. When you hear Exodus 12, what should come to your mind? You can try it now. What you say? Exodus 12 tell you what? Passover. Man, bright, you know, like bright students. Passover. Once you hear Exodus 12, you have to think Passover. Look what 48 says. When a stranger sojourns with you and shall perform. When a who sojourn, Mr.? Don't get distracted now, you know. We don't worry about the light, you know, because long days before we never used to have nothing named projector. Projector just come something. When me a jing bang a growing at this place, we never have projector. No projector look. Everybody have them Bible open up in front of them. And I'm ready to wait for the man called scripture. And that's how we were able to know the books of the Bible, because you have to know where there to find it quick before man move on. So we soon mash up this and go back to that. Change the slide for me, please, to the next one. Or let them go and look at it so they can see it. Then you change it after a few. Exodus 12. When a stranger sojourns with you and wish to perform the Passover. What is the problem with a stranger wanting to perform the Passover? Eh? No, you tell me in a bright man term. Break it down to me. The Passover is for who? Yisra'el. So if a stranger want to keep the Passover, what he must do? He must become Yisra'el. That's how the argument go. Alright. Change it for me now. Thank you. Now move fast. So he wished to perform the Passover to Yahuwah. Let all his males be what? Circumcised. And then let him come near and perform it. So that means that there is a way to get into this thing here. There is a way. But does it say that you are going to get into Yisra'el? Because you tell me a while ago says Yisra'el now. I work with it even though I know no wrong. You tell me say man have to become Yisra'el. Now that you tell me a while ago say. You want to take back the talk now? Continue. So let him perform it. Let him come near and perform it. After you what? Circumcise him. And he shall be as a native of the land. So in other words, there is no difference between him and you when you circumcise him. The man have full-blown citizenship. You can't change him DNA, no, so him not become Yisra'el. He not tell you that. He tell you say he's as a native of the land. Remember, some man can born in the land no, because native mean you spring up in the land. You can born in the land and you're not from the bloodline, you know, brethren. Two Egyptians can come in the land and make a youth. Eh? So you know say you become Yisra'el. He say you become as a native in the land. So who are the people of the land? You know say Yisra'el. Me never tell you so. But let no uncircumcised eat of it. What you say? Alright. 49. Watch the law where Yahuwah put in place. Yahuwah said there is one law. One instruction for the native born and for the stranger once you are in my land. One law, so that means one people, one classification. You can't have Christian, you can't have Jews, you can't have Muslim, and everybody mix up. It no work. One law. You can't have multiple religions. Some people worship Friday, some come Saturday, some come Sunday. Not in this land. Not in this land. One law. In this land here. One law. Leviticus 16:29. This shall be for you a law forever. In the 7th new moon and the 10th day of the new moon. What is on the 7th new moon and the 10th day of the new moon? 10th day of the 7th month. 10th day, me now move on to you tell me. 10th day of the 7th month. What is that? You know, just go to a festival a while ago. Atonement. You, watch it now. On this day, you must afflict your soul and do no work. The native or the stranger who sojourns among you. Everybody is the same because I just tell you up this a while ago. There is one law for the stranger and for the native. So that means everybody is the same in this land here. And if you cannot keep the one law, then you have to come out of the land, brethren. If you're native and bloodline and you're not keeping the law, come out. And that reach we know. Because we are native and bloodline. And we have to come out. Leviticus 19:34. Let the stranger who dwells among you be to you as the native. Treat the stranger as good. The same law, the same privileges that is given to the native, give it to the stranger. Because it's one law, and him say, remember that you were strangers in the land of Egypt. Remember, and them never treat you good, so don't do it to nobody else. Sounds fair, right? Leviticus 23:42. Dwell in booths for 7 days. Which festival is? No, that one day. But no atonement. Dwell in booths for 7 days. All who are native born in Yisra'el. Dwell in booths. All who are native born where? Yisra'el. So it's not native born Yisra'el, you know. It's native born in Yisra'el. Yisra'el is what? The land we might talk about now, no say go. Yes, man. Because what you're going to find, you know, see the term Yisra'el? What is a man's name? The man ended up get 12 youth. And the 12 youth became known as the 12 tribes of Yisra'el. Those 12 youth get whole heap of youth and it turned out one big old country. So now the country is known as Yisra'el. Thank you. So you realize how the classification changed as needs be. You realize the classification changed. You see, Yahweh's classification for your inner change. Thank you very much. What's your argument now? Leviticus 24:16 and 22. He who blasphemes the name of Yahweh shall certainly be put to death, and all the congregation shall certainly stone him. The stranger must stone him, and the native must stone him. Everything are involved in, you know, when you come into this land here, you know, brethren. When you pass through this land, you're involved in everything. If a man gets sentenced to death, you involved in the sentencing. You have to stone him too. Every single thing. So Yahweh is showing you that when me say one law, me not talk about just some of the laws are the sacrificial laws, or as the Christians would say, are the ceremonial laws, as the Christian would say, are the dietary laws, as the Christian would say. Every single thing, every law, you are to have one right ruling, one judgment for the stranger and for the native, for I am Yahweh, your Elohim. And all of those are referencing to a stranger who wishes to be a part of this thing here. Not a man who has passed through. When he says sojourn, it means that you're lodging at a place, brethren. You lodge. You make your bed, you're living in a place now. So you have to abide by these laws. You're not just passing through. So when you find other instructions in the Torah where say, when the thing dies a certain way, give it to the stranger and let them eat it, but you don't eat it. That are the stranger who are passed talk about in business. When you're going at the big market, in the trading cities, them the stranger they might talk about. Because really and truly there is no stranger in Yisra'el when you come on to live in. It's not like America, where America says, what them call you? When you're something there? When you get your immigrant. Yisra'el now no immigrant, native born. Is either native born or passing through the city like bands of angels. Numbers 15. For him, verse 29, who does whatever by mistake, there is one law, both for him who is native among the children of Yisra'el and for the stranger who sojourns in their midst. And you start to realize that whenever Yahweh is referencing to the people, he said the children of Yisra'el, because they are the children of Jacob. It is a man's name. Yahweh call them the children of Yisra'el, brethren, because the man name of Unafim Pitney. Children of Yisra'el. There is no Israelite. But the being who does whatever defiantly, whether he is native or a stranger, he reviles Yahweh, and that soul shall be cut off from among his people. Numbers 9:14, another witness to the Passover. When a stranger wishes to keep the Passover among you, he sojourns and wants to keep the Passover. He shall do according to the law of the Passover, according to its right ruling. You have one law for the stranger and for the native of the land. Joshua 8:33. All Yasharal, the sojourner, as well as the native. All who? And it tell you who fall under Yasharal, don't? The sojourner and the native, because Yahweh don't tell you long time. Says one law. The sojourner is now a part of you because he's dwelling among you. And if you want to live and work in this country, you have to abide by this country's law. And I say it work in every country, brethren, except for Jamaica. I say it work in every country in the world, except for Jamaica. Ezekiel 47:22. It shall be that you divide it. Watch this now. This is land that share up now, you know. Land, we call sharing of land. We call sharing of land. Inheritance. Who inheritance go to? Sons. Picking, no say go. All right. Watch the sharing up of this land. And this is Ezekiel 47. You know, when I reach Ezekiel 47, what we are talking about? Me wait for you, man. Far up. Thank you, my boss. You find it? Far up. When I say far up, what do you mean? Future. That not happen yet. Thank you. Because this is when Ezekiel was getting the tour of the kingdom. All right. Ezekiel 47:22. It shall be, Yahweh says, the Son of Man, that you divide it by lot as an inheritance for yourself and for the strangers. I thank you, who sojourn in your midst and who bear children among you. And they shall be to you as native born. Native born. See, you start to realize that there's a qualifying mark to be considered Yahweh's people. And the qualifying mark is to keep the Torah, the law. So this bigger than bloodline. This bigger than birthright. What else you have again? Genealogy. All of these things. Birthplace, bigger than all of that. DNA, man have to keep law, brethren. Man have to keep law. See, sir? Native born among the children of Yasharal. With you, they have an inheritance in the midst of the tribes of Yasharal. Yes, that's what them say. Israel alone, Yahweh come about. So everybody else dead. Everybody else dead. Eh? Now we hear some new terms. Hebrew Israelite and Hebrew Jews. And where did they get it from? I wonder if we can find it in the Bible. Sweet name. So, and it sounds nice, you know. Yeah, man. Hebrew Israelite. Hebrew Israelite. Hebrew Jews. Miss it. Wonder if we can find it in the script. Joshua 66:30. Let not the king think that the Hebrew woman, what kind of woman? Hebrew, Ivrit is the correct way to transliterate Hebrew. The Hebrew women don't think that they are the same as the Egyptian women. For all the children of Yasharal are lively, and before the midwife comes to them, they are delivered. And as for us, your handmaids, for many days no Hebrew woman has brought forth upon us. For all the Hebrew women are their own midwives because they are lively. Woman just bend down and push out baby. They don't want no midwife. That is what is happening there. But you realize that it said a Hebrew woman. It is referencing to Hebrew women, don't? Because they are in Egypt. Pharaoh said, kill all males that born. Call the midwife, ask the midwife, how me not get no dead body. Midwife said, we not get no baby to deliver, so we can't kill them. Because these women are delivering the babies themselves. And what she call the women them? Hebrew women are not the same as the Egyptian women. So Hebrew and Egyptian are two different something. And then after she finished talking about the Hebrew women, she said what? For all the children of Yasharal are lively. So the Hebrew women are children of Yasharal. Our children of Yasharal fall under Hebrew. One after the other, no say go. Philippians 3:5. I'm just showing you some verses where you might find Hebrew and Israel in the same place, but we don't see it say Hebrew Israelite. Don't. Philippians 3 verse 5. Circumcised the 8th day. Someone are reading him resume in a brethren. Who this? Paul. Man I read him resume. Man say, I am circumcised of the 8th day. I not like we. Circumcised 28 and 43. Years and not days. Years. Man laugh. Man laugh. Watch how Paul classify himself, because if we are look classification, brethren, we have to find some classification, right? Alright, watch the classification. The man said, I am circumcised the 8th day of the race of Israel. He not say Israelite. He say come from the race of Israel, which means that he is a direct descendant of Jacob. No say go. So that is not a classification, no, that is genealogy of the tribe of Benjamin. Ancestry we're talking about. And look what him say. A Hebrew of Hebrews, according to the Torah, a Pharisee. So what Paul call himself? Him call himself a Benjamite? No. Him call himself a Israelite? No. When call himself? Hebrew. 2 Corinthians 11:22. Paul said, are they Hebrews? He said, so am I. Are they of, you notice him say, of Israel, that means you're born of Israel. He never say, are they of Hebrews, So you start to realize the classification coming forth now. Because him say, are they of Israel, that means are they from Israel? He says, so am I. Are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they the seed of Abraham? So am I. 1 Samuel 14:21. The Hebrews who were with the Philistines before that time, who went up with them into the camp, turned round, they too, to be with Israel. Translator put Israelite. It should read, to be with Israel, who were with Shaul and Jehonathan. So some Hebrews were over the Philistine camp, and when Israel advanced against the Philistine, them turn on the Philistines and join Israel. Because it's for them people, brethren. It's their people, they're not fighting their own people. Hebrews. Hebrews. This is the closest thing I can find to something remotely saying Hebrew Israelite. But is the translator put Israelite there? The text read Israel. Because Israel's army was advancing, so them turn and join Israel. How about Hebrew Jews? Jeremiah 34:9. That everyone was to set free his male and female slave, the Hebrew man and the Hebrew woman. No one was to keep a Yahudi, his brother, enslaved. What is a Yahudi? Yahudi is a man from the tribe of Yahuda. Solely. That was originally what Yahudi meant. Yahudi or Yahudim. Yahudim is plural. Means that you are from the tribe of Yahuda. Over time, the kingdom split in two. The kingdom of Israel split in two after Solomon. Solomon get his holy for women. Yahuwah was upset with him. Yahuwah said, I will tear the kingdom from you. But for my servant David's sake, I will leave a remnant. So what happened? Kingdom split in two. 10 tribes stayed north. 2 tribes stayed south. 10 tribes in the north became known as Israel, Ephraim, Samaria. All of those classifications. Israel, Ephraim, Samaria when you read in prophecy. Referring to the 10 northern tribes. The southern tribe became known as Judah. The kingdom of Judah. So now it is no longer a classification only for a man from the tribe of Judah, but it is now a classification for persons who belong to the southern kingdom, which consisted of Benjamin, Judah, and piece of Levi. So now it's a classification for territory, where you're from, or where you have your allegiance. You understand? So in those times now when the kingdom split, and you have the kingdom of Yahuda, or Judah as they say, You can have a man who said that I am a Yahudi, who is not a descendant of Yahudah, the son of Jacob, because the classification is now for the kingdom of Judah. It's a country classification. You follow? So this classification is also changing. You realize, just like with the name of Israel, it become a name, then it become the 12 tribes, then it became the country. That's all. So the same thing is happening here with this one. Matthew 2 verse 2. Saying, where is he who was born king of the Jews? Because remember, in Yahushua's time, the 10 tribes already scattered, remember we talk about them at length and said them going to Assyrian captivity first and go all about in the world. Them cross the Bering Strait and come down in Alaska, come down into America, Canada, Mexico, come down into South America and the Caribbean. And them go over India, them go over Asia and farm the dark color Chinese with the squingy eye. Where do you think them come from? Where China get where Asian get dark people from? Travel the Israelite travel. Why do you think the Indians have that complexion? We travel long time. We are travel, brethren. So that tribe scattered a long time before Yahushua's time, brethren. So when Yahushua is walking the earth now, in that little concentrated area, is Judah, the kingdom that was in and around that area there. Judah, the kingdom. Levi, Benjamin, and Judah. And the whole of them together known as Judah. So them call them Jews. So that now you get the classification Jews. Acts 2. Now in Jerusalem, there were dwelling Jews, dedicated men from every nation under the heaven. You see it now? Jews. Because man start convert and come into the things, they start realize now. The classification change again. Now it is referencing to what? Religion. Classification change. Because them not born. You see, it's a man from every nation under heaven, brethren. Man come from Greece, man come from Spain, man come from Portugal, Italy. All about. Both Phrygia and Pamphylia, Mizraim, and the parts of Libya around Cyrene, visitors from Rome, both Jews and converts. So classification change again. Remember, it started off being a man who is a direct descendant of Yahudah, the son of Jacob. Now it reached the religion, brethren. Classification keep changing. Acts 22. When they heard that he spoke to them in the Hebrew language, they kept greater silence, and he said, I am indeed a Yahudi, having been born in Tarsus of Cilicia, but brought up in the city at the feet of Gamaliel, having been instructed according to the exactness of the Torah. This is Paul again. And we know that Paul is from the tribe of? Which tribe Paul come from? Benjamin. And Paul said, I am a Jew. Because the classification stood for the kingdom of Judah, and Benjamin was a part of the split, the southern kingdom. So Paul said, I am a Jew. And he spoke what language he said he spoke? Hebrew language. Let us see if we can learn something here. The word Hebrew, look at it. Adjective and name of a people. You saw that for anything else? And anyone of the other something that we show no? We never see that down. But you don't see it now. It's an adjective and the name of a people. What does an adjective do? Describes. Describes. The term Hebrew functions in scripture as an ethnonym. Ethnonym means it refers to ethnicity. The grouping that you fall under. For the covenant people descended from Eber through Abraham, and as an adjective describing language, land, or identity. It appears roughly 34 times, clustered in key redemptive historical moments. The patriarchal narratives, the Exodus, the rise of the monarchy, and later prophetic calls to covenant faithfulness. So this points us somewhere to go and look. It says that the people who come from who? What the man name? Eber. Eber. And that's why the English language, the thing. Because the correct way to say Hebrew is Abarim. And it makes sense because if you come from a man named Eber or Abar, you call it Abarim. But when you say Hebrew, it sounds far, don't? Hebrew sounds far from Eber. But when you say Abarim, it sounds close. Slide not changing. Alright, so Eber now, the founding father of the Hebrews. Watch it. Because we want to feel as if Yahuwah just start dealing with people with Jacob. And we have to remember that Abraham and Isaac cannot fall under Israel. Because Israel come after them dead and gone. That's how the argument goes. Abraham and Isaac, the patriarchs, where Yahuwah said, your father, when they see him, Israel, we call Israelite, when they are praying, how them start them prayer? Yahuwah, the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So if we work just with the classification of Israel, then we throw out Abraham and Isaac, not to mention Adam them coming down. Holy man get dashed out in the brethren. Watch the argument. So Eber. Look what Eber means. And pay attention now. Eber means against, beyond, from, over, passage, side, straight, beyond or across, from the other side, to pass over. So it originates from a word which means to cross over. Follow carefully, you know. Eber comes from a word which means to cross over. And you realize this a region beyond, over, other side, all of these things. When I go to the ancient Hebrew lexicon, the word is cross. Means to cross. The crossing over or passing through a land or water to gain access to the side beyond. Why should that make sense to you? Walking or crossing over, usually through water to gain access to a land beyond or on the other side. Why should that make sense? Eh? Why it must make sense? Cross water. Why should it make sense? You not asleep. Huh? Oh, no history. Eh? When you come out of Egypt, where you cross? You cross water. When you're going into the promised land under Joshua, where you cross? River Jordan. That's how the argument go, brethren. And we would have learned at Sukkot that our ancestors, when them leave out of Assyrian captivity, them cross water again. And he said that Yahweh is going to stop the water and bring them back again. So you realize that the people have a history of crossing waters. And I will tell you now that Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and all the others crossed the waters to brethren. Because them journey from Turkey, come down into Syria, all of these places, and them walk through the whole of the Levant. You can't go through the whole of the Levant if you don't cross Euphrates. You can't go down in Egypt and you don't cross Nile. A whole heap of water crossing a Guan, brethren. That's why the people became known as the Hebrews. Crossing to the region beyond. It describes the people. Travelers. Travelers. So we're going to make everything make sense now. Watch it. Genesis 10. Also to Shem, the father of all the children of Eber. So Eber's father is who? Shem. Was Shem good or bad? Good. And we know that we are known as Shemites. No say go. Shemites. No say go. So Eber come from Shem. Joshua 12:61. Abraham hearkened. Watch this now. Abraham listened to the voice of Eliezer. Look. And Abraham hastened and ran for safety to the house of Noah and his son who? Shem. So Abraham run go over yard when them did want to kill him. Shem yard. Shem and Noah. And he concealed, he hid himself there and found a place of safety. And the king's servants came to Abraham's house to seek him, but they could not find him. And they searched throughout the whole country, and he was not found. And they went on searching every direction, and he was not to be met with. So Abraham got Hashem yard. Follow the argument. Nice. Joshua 23:5. My son now, Yitzchak, is grown up, and he has not for some time studied the service of his Elohim. So Abraham is looking at Isaac growing up. And Abraham said, all right, I think him reach the age now. Because him a grow up, I'm going to see him take up now Bible. They could put it that way there. Abraham said, this boy in my house, 12 years ago, him not take up now Bible. So where am I going to send him now? Eh? If you have a son who not take up his math book, where are you going to send him? Math class, me like you're bright in a bridging. Next time you come out of that place, man, me like when bright people in that place, my youth. You have to send him go math class. So if the youth not take up no Bible, where you have to send him go? Bible class. Watch which part of Bible class they know. My son Yitzchak is grown up, and he has not for some time studied the service of his Elohim. Now tomorrow, I will go and bring him to Shem and Bible school, man, gonna Bible school, theological seminar. Or seminary, where you go? Seminaries. And there he will learn the ways of Yahuwah. For they will teach him to know Yahuwah as well as to know that when he prays continually before Yahuwah, he will answer him. Therefore, there he will know the way of serving Yahuwah. This sound like good yard. Don't. This sound like good yard, brethren. It's a reason why in Jamaican culture, you know, when holiday coming, you know, parents send jingbang to granny, you know. Because granny have the old ways to teach the child. You think you can teach the child better than granny? And grandfather? No. Nowadays, I bypass people. We're not talking about them. We're talking about the original thing where it's set. Because these grandparents nowadays are children themselves. So you start to realize, Abraham, when he run from the king, run to Shem yard. And now we start to realize that Shem and Eber are the same place. Joshua 26:10. He said unto them, why am I alone in this amongst all the women that were upon earth? Who this now? Who we know? Pregnant. No feel good. And I said, why this happened to me? She feeling unusual pain and she walk and ask every existing mother. She said, when you did that breed, you feel them a pain? And I said, no. And then go over here and say to them, when you did that breed, you feel them a pain? She said, no. And she said, so am I alone in the whole world feel them a pain? She said, why am I this way? Who is that? Who are we talking about? Rebecca, me like bright people, you know, man. You have to talk loud in a bright. Rebecca. And she went to the land of Moriah to seek. Oh, she said she go seek. Eh? No, so I want to read the thing properly, man. Who she said she go to? Yahweh. She's seeking Yahweh on account of the problem. And she went where to find Yahweh? Shem and Eber, brethren. You have to go for Bible class to find Bible man. Bible teacher. To make inquiries of them in this matter. So she go to Shem and Eber. Why am I laboring? You soon find out. Joshua 28:18. At that time, Yitzchak sent his young and them go and write, inscribe. They said they wrote it in Greek. Why would they write it in a Greek? Because Greek people, they're about, thank you. Greek people are around, and we know that Yahusha, when he walked the earth, it was the Greco-Roman period. Greco-Roman meaning Greece and Rome. So they wrote it in Greek, they wrote it in Roman, and they wrote it in Hebrew. And what them right there? This is the King of the Jews. So the language of the people is Hebrew. The language of the people of the Bible is what? Hebrew. And if people are known based on the language that they speak, then we are what? But not take my word for it, man. Our scripture we use, man. Watch that. We continue. Paul in Acts 21:40 said, having given him permission, Shaul standing on the stairs motioned with his hand to the people. So them catch him and them beat him. And him said to the prisoner, the prison guard said, I beg you a minute to address the people. And the man said, all right. If you can't talk in their language, do your thing. Paul stand up, signal with the man and said, silence! Everybody silent. And when there was a great silence, he spoke in when he spoke Hebrew language, saying everybody frightened when he speak the Hebrew language. Acts 26:14. When we had fallen to the ground, I heard a voice speaking to me and saying in the Hebrew language, this is Paul on the road to Damascus, going to persecute the Jews. And Yahuwah hit him with a blinding light. And him said, when the light lick him and him drop a ground, when him hear Hebrew language. And what did the voice say? Why do you persecute me? Why do you persecute me? Yahuwah spoke to Shaul in the Hebrew language. So Jubilee is not sound so faulty when it says the language of creation, eh? Acts 22:2. When they heard that he spoke to them in the Hebrew language, they kept greater silence. And he said, because they are Hebrews, so this man is speaking in Hebrew, then let us give him more attention. Because he knows our language, and clearly he's a Hebrew man. Let us get to the meat of the matter now and come down nicely. Genesis 14:13. Because if I can show you a classification for the men before Jacob, and even Jacob himself, then we have to work with that classification. We can't come run with Israelite and a two place alone in the Bible. They don't. That not sound fair. Eh? That not sound fair. Genesis 14:13. This is a 66 canon. One who had escaped came and informed Abraham the Hebrew, for he dwelt by the terebinth trees of Mamre. So man run come to inform Abraham the Hebrew that listen, them gone with a nephew, Lot. Joshua 33:9. They said unto him, surely this is the daughter of Jacob, the son of Yitzchak the. So Abraham them call Abraham what? Them call Isaac what? Joshua 34:48. Go up with me and assist me, and we will smite Jacob the. So if the father, the son, and the grandson classified as Hebrew, then if 12 jingbang come from the grandson, the 12 jingbang supposed to name what? And if 550 million 17 jingbang come from the great grandson, them, where they supposed to name? But not take my word for it, brethren, well off. Genesis 39:14. She called to the men of her house and spoke to them, saying, see, he has brought into us a Hebrew to mock us. This is Joseph, brethren, after the woman tried rape off Joseph, and Joseph running. The woman said, Potiphar brought in a Hebrew to mock us. But the woman called Joseph, she called him Israelite, but a Israel's son. But she called him what? Hebrew. Exodus 1, verse 15 to 16. Then the king of Egypt spoke to the Hebrew midwives, of whom the name of one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other was Puah. And he said, when you deliver the Hebrew women, and see them on the birth stools, if it is a son, then you shall put him to death. If it is a daughter, you make sure go on. Hebrew woman. Exodus 2:11. In those days it came to be when Moses a jing bang, down the line. Moses a great grandson. That's how the argument go. Look what Moses was considered. Moses was grown, that he went out to his brothers and looked at their burdens, and he saw an Egyptian. So you see the classification. The man from Egypt called Egyptian, and the man who is a descendant of Israel is called a Hebrew. He saw an Egyptian striking a Hebrew, one of his brothers. So if Moses' brother Hebrew, then Moses our. Exodus 21:2. This is law now. You believe in law? You believe in Torah? Look how Yahweh classify people in the Torah now. Exodus 21:2. When you buy a Hebrew servant, it's an Israelite, it's a Jews. He served 6 years, and in the 7th you let him go free. And we know the instruction going down. Him say, you do not own what belongs to me. They are mine. So you have to let him go and don't treat him like a stranger. What does Yahweh call him? Hebrew. Deuteronomy 15:12. When your brother is sold to you, a what? Hebrew man or a Hebrew woman. Abarit. Jonah 1:9. I don't know Jonah. Jonah jump in a ship, gone in one direction. Yahweh, the water turn up in the sea, you know. Threatening to turn over ship. Jonah kill sleep. Then say when you think of peace and safety, you know, sudden destruction, this man kill sleep and the rest of them try to bail out water type boat, you know. And Jonah kill sleep in a virgin. And the man them go to Jonah and say, no sir, you have job see. Man say, you take pill. Man say, virgin, wake up and pray to whatever Elohim you have. Because the ship will turn over. The African man would have said, what is the meaning of this sleeping? And the man them said to Jonah, said, listen, don't worry yourself. My fault. Make the water stay like so, just throw me over. And the man them said, then he come like into that dream. And he wake up at all. Then he said, oh you be? Where you come from? You remember what them asked Jonah? They said, who are you? Where are you from? What is your occupation? The 3 questions. Who are you? Where are you from? And Jonah answered the who are you and the where are you from in one way. Watch what him say. I am a Hebrew. So if we reach all the way down to Jonah now in the prophets, and when Jonah classifying himself, Jonah say Hebrew. Where we get Israelite from? Acts 29:8. This is New Testament. Now say go. Now when it was noised abroad, it was made public that the apostle had landed on their coast. Great multitudes of the inhabitants met him, and they treated Paul courteously. And he entered in at the east gate of the city and lodged in the house of a Hebrew, one of his own nation. So we reach all the way to New Testament and we still see what? Hebrew. This classification doesn't seem to change like the others don't. This not change. And the one classification from the same line of man them coming down. But if you're still not comfortable, look how your Creator speak. If you believe Bible, then you can't go against this. Exodus 3:18. Yahweh says, they shall listen to your voice, and you shall come, you and all the elders of Yisra'el, to the king of Egypt, and you shall say to him, this is Yahweh giving instruction, don't? Look what Yahweh said. You shall say to him, Yahuwah. And you know that when Yahweh drop him name, him give a title after that, don't? Sometimes you see Yahuwah Osenu, which means Yahuwah our creator. Sometimes you see Yahuwah Sitkenu, which means Yahuwah our righteousness. And next time you see Yahuwah Shammah, which means Yahuwah hears. Yahuwah Sebaot, Yahuwah of armies. Always a title. Look at the title here, so now. Yahuwah said, go to Pharaoh and tell him that Yahuwah, Elohim of the. You want more than that? Him say Israel? Are Israelite? Eh? Man said Elohim of the Hebrews, and Moses coined this term. Yahweh is telling Moses what to go and say. So we can't even say Moses come up with it. This is the Creator himself giving instructions. Exodus 5:3. And they said, when them going to Pharaoh, look what the people them said to Pharaoh. The Elohim of the Hebrews has met with us. The Elohim of who? Hebrews has met with who? Us. Exodus 7:16. You shall say to him, Yahuwah send him again, and say, go on again. You shall say to him, Yahuwah, the Elohim of the Hebrews has sent me to you, saying, let my people go so that they may serve me in the wilderness. And Exodus 9 verse 1. Yahuwah said to Mashah, go into Pharaoh, speak to him. Thus said Yahuwah, the Elohim of the Hebrews. When Pharaoh wanted to kill the firstborn, Pharaoh called what kind of midwife? Hebrew midwife. You know that the scripture said. Hebrew midwife. So now Yahweh is sending to Pharaoh. Yahweh said, I am the Elohim of the same Hebrews you are persecuting. There's no classification Israelite other than the two verses that I showed you, which I show you that those are in reference to somebody who have shared ancestry. The Elohim of the Hebrews. So let us bring it full circle now. Conclusion. Because you have to understand. Because this thing is bigger than bloodline. This thing is bigger than ancestry. It's bigger than genealogy. Because you have some people who believe that once I am off the line, I will be a part of the festivities with my wretchedness. And it don't work like that. This thing bigger than ancestry and genealogy. You could have Eber's son little more. You could be Eber descendant little more. So now we have to bring our minds now back to the meaning of Hebrew. What did I tell you that Hebrew mean? Or what did we learn that Hebrew mean? Crossover to the region beyond. Cross over to the region beyond. So it means that man must do what? Cross over. Cross over. Watch it, because I'm going to show you that the classification is fitting for the people, brethren. And we just close and go on about our business. 3 more slides and we finish. Watch this. Four things we're concluding with. And then I'll take you to the last dege chapter in the Bible. Last chapter, Revelation 22, and we finish. 4 points. 4 simple points. 1. Israelite or Israeli are terms that only refer to an individual with mixed ethnicity, based on what we saw in the Israel mother, a mother who is from Israel, and a father who is from another nation. That is what we saw, right? Originally referred to an individual from the tribe of Yehuda. And later, it was used as a classification for a citizen of the southern kingdom of Judah. So the classification changed. Again, it morphed into a classification for anyone and their descendant from the southern kingdom who was exiled into Babylonian captivity. Morph again. Until now it is known as a classification for the people who fall under a religion called Judaism. And let me tell you something. We as a people should be weary, scared, and frightened of 2 suffixes. Suffix mean ending terms. Ish and ism. Yahweh don't have none of that. Yahweh don't have a ish other than the ish, which is the man. Hebrew don't have no ish business other than the man. The man where Yahweh create. No ish and no ism. It's not in Yahweh's thing. No Rastafarianism and no iti no unite neither. No Rastafarianity. None of those. 1 classification we have. 1. Number 3. Yahweh only referred to his people as Hebrews or the children of Yasharal. Only things that we can use based on the scripture, what we see in the scripture. Yahweh says to Mashah, speak unto the children of Yasharal. He never says speak unto the Israelites. Remember good. We have whole heap of that in the Torah. Speak unto the children of Yasharal. And he said, I am the Elohim of the Hebrews. The Elohim of Yasharal. And you notice whenever he say, I am the Elohim of Yasharal, he say Isaac and Abraham too. Because when he say Yasharal in that sense, he's referencing to the forefathers. The patriarchs, the man who are responsible for the nation today. Last point. Hebrew now. Watch it now. If you're sleeping, wake up. This is the crux of the presentation. Because we don't want anybody in here who feel as if, yes, because I am a direct descendant and I have shared the bloodline. And because me circumcised and me chop. Me alright. That was a Pharisaic way of thinking. 4. Hebrew. The term Hebrew means crossover or the region beyond. Watch it. This is the most accurate depiction of this walk on the ancient past, brethren. You don't feel like a crossover? Eh? You don't feel like you're going to a region beyond because everything you're doing is opposite to what is happening on this side of the world. Not so you feel. That is because you are in the process of becoming Hebrews. That's why I tell you that it's bigger than genealogy. You are becoming Hebrew. That's why your attire is changing. Your speech is changing. Your language is changing because you are becoming Hebrew. You are adopting the Hebrew culture. You are crossing over to a region beyond. Physically and spiritually. And we know that whatever Yahweh gives us is both physical and spiritual. So we are doing the physical crossing over in that. We're changing the way we dress. We're changing the way we speak. We're changing the way we look. Man start grow them beard. Man start grow them hair. All of these things. So our appearance is changing physically. So the world can see that we are crossing over. What it means spiritually. Watch it. And we finish. Revelation 22. Verse 6. He said to me, these words. Verse 1, sorry. He showed me a river of water of life. This sounds like one different region, don't? This not sound like our region. Watch it. Follow me carefully. If you're sleeping, wake up. He showed me a river of water of life, clear as crystal. You ever see that yet? No. A different region this don't. And we know that John was in the Ruach on Yahweh's day. Coming from the throne of Elohim. From you hear that? You know, said we know that this a region. Different region this. Coming from the throne of Elohim and of the Lamb. In the middle of its street. On a white line. On a pothole. On a stoplight. And a median to stop man from U-turn in the middle of the place and cause chaos. Look what is in the middle of the street. And on either side of the river was there tree of life. Watch the sermon now. In the beginning, we had access to the tree of life. No, sir. We fell and saw a breach came between us and the tree of life. So it means that we were kicked out of the region. And we gone over a region beyond. Now as Hebrews, you have to find yourself back to the region that you were kicked out of. That is the process of the Hebrews. That's why that is the classification we work with. See Revelation here, bring it full circle. The tree of life which bore 12 fruits. Each tree yielding its fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations. The nation I get healing? Eh? We never notice that pharmacy, pharmaceutical, is the Greek word for witchcraft. In the Greek, when you're reading the Greek New Testament, and you see it's a witchcraft and sorcery, it's pharmakeia. You ever notice that the sign for the pharmacy is a snake and a stick, as a serpent and a stick? So where's healing there? Where's the healing? A Moses stick. Do you remember what caused Moses to make the stick? It wasn't anything good that caused Moses to make the stick. Healing of the nations. Watch this. Show you that is a region beyond for true. No longer shall there be any curse. Tell me if curse not about same way nowadays. The throne of Elohim and of the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him. And they shall see his face. You ever see Elohim face it? Eh? You ever seen face it until that? A different business this. This sound like man finish the crossover. This sound like a man reach the region beyond. And his name shall be upon their forehead. You have name for your forehead? Eh? Lift up your turban, let me see. Because it seems like you're lying in the assembly. His name shall be upon their foreheads. Watch this now. Night shall be no more. Tell me if last night never did it. Last night was there? Oh. Last night they over your yard? In the over my yard too. Last night they over your yard until that? Come like you reach a region beyond. Night shall be no more. There shall be no need for a lamp. Light chip out a couple times yesterday, you know. And I see the place get dark. I don't know. There shall be no need for the light of the sun. Who are pray for sunshine so them tabernacles close can't drive on line. What up on one? Not afraid because YouTube now see. That means I still have need for the sun, don't it? Laugh, think a joke. Because Yahuwah Elohim shall give them light, and they shall reign forever and ever. This sounds like a crossing over to the region beyond. The correct classification for us as a people. Hebrews. Who are we? Hebrews. What are we about? Crossing over to the region beyond. That is why we are on the ancient part. It alone gets into the region beyond. Watch the argument. Verse 6, he said to me, these words are trustworthy and true. Believe it. Yahuwah Elohim, the set apart prophets, has sent his messenger to show his servants what has to take place with speed. Verse 11, we jump to verse 11. Watch this now. Because we have to get this and get it properly. Not about birthright, not about genealogy, not about DNA, not about ancestry. None of it. Man must keep the law. The only way to cross over to the region beyond is to keep the law. You could have birthright little more and circumcised little more. Watch the argument. He who does wrong. Can a birthright man do wrong? Tell me a birthright man you know who do wrong. Eh? Wrong, me say wrong. Call your name, yeah? Esau, thank you. You know another birthright man who do wrong? Another firstborn who do wrong? The very first one who killed him brother, what's his name? Cain. Who is Isaac's brother? Firstborn who Hagar bore for Abraham. Ishmael. All of them firstborn, they know brother. Firstborn, them, you know, they did wrong. So birthright don't work. How about ancestry? How many sons Noah have? Noah was a righteous man, don't? You think Noah is going to cross over into the region beyond? So that means say if his ancestry do it, then all of Noah's ancestors are supposed to go on a cycle. Was Japheth a righteous one? Was Ham a righteous one? So the ancestry don't look like it work either, don't? He who does wrong, let him do more wrong. The Spirit said make him do more wrong. The one who is whoring, and you talk to them over and over again and say, as a Hebrew woman, you have to keep yourself circumspect. Wait for Yahweh to provide somebody for you. And they continue to whore him. Say, let him whore. Let him make him whore. Because in time will come, everybody have them at a claps. He who is filthy, thief, and you talk to him about the thieving. He lie. You talk to him about the lying and he's still lying. Let him lie and thief. His time is coming. The one who is righteous When you talk to him, him shift up himself and him stop the whoring. Put away the unequally yoked husbands and wives. And set himself in order. So let him be more righteous. Let him continue along the path of righteousness. He who is set apart, let him be more set apart. That is the way of the Hebrews. That is how you cross over to the region beyond. You can't claim to be set apart, and when you leave this place, as Rash said this morning, you dress nice and come here. And everybody look at you, but by Saturday evening, you're in your house with your spooky. Yisra'el not deal with spooky. It's Ish and Isha. Yisra'el not deal with matey and side chick. Where is them name? What their name? Wanna tell me their name? Because I don't have a name for them. Eh? Babes. Yisra'el now no babes. Yisra'el no stand up a roadside up. Browning. They love them, sweet them, then love them something. I better make sure them are this circumcised, them have skin teeth. Honey. Snookums. Sugar plum. No, say go. Listen, brethren, these are serious things. Revelation, listen, brethren. This is end time. The man say if the man is nasty, involved in all kind of foolishness, say make him go on in that nastiness. You can't help him. Let him continue. You talk to him already, make him continue in his nastiness. Brethren, it can't be that myself and Rash come up here and say the same things over and over and over again. And we still watch the people doing the same things over and over and over again. It is very frustrating because, as he said, and I echo the sentiment, you would want for all of us to cross over into the region beyond. But the onus is on every individual to make him crossing an election sure. We have to break up the fallow grounds, brethren. We have to break up the fallow grounds. All of the activities, the nefarious activities that we are involved in, everybody know them different things. I know mine. Everybody should know theirs. All of the little compromises when it comes on to the Sabbath. I mean, now stop talking about the Sabbath. Because every time in our history as a people, we find ourselves on the wrong side of Yahweh. It starts with the Sabbath day. It starts with the Sabbath day. There are some little things that you do. You say, oh, let me just do this. And then it leads to, okay, I can't do this. Until soon and soon you find out they do anything that you want to do on the Sabbath. It's a set apart, brethren. You can't be set apart and you're doing the same thing that the heathens are doing. You're living in a community among heathens and I can't tell you different from the heathen. How is that set apart? Tell me, how is that set apart? The heathen girl have 3 men. You have 4. How is that set apart? That's not set apart. That's set a whole heap. That's not set apart, brethren. Eden man is taking people's wife. Man in Yisra'el take people man. That is not set apart. You're worse than them. It should not be. It should not be. But to each his own. Let him be more set apart. Because why? So the wrong one, make him continue in the wrongness. The filthy, let him continue to be fit. Nobody tell him, no, make him go bed. Because that can't save him. He never like bed from man. And let the righteous be more righteous. Let the set apart be more set apart. So if you're set apart, you must strive for what? More set apart. Why? Because I am coming speedily, and my reward is with me to give each according to his work. And now me and my beat up gum up here, say afraid because the same man where you answer to me, answer to him too. So I am just a conduit through which the words come. But I have to answer to that individual as well. And if you don't mind sharp, me and you stand up in the beating line when time comes. Man finish up, man say, I am the Aleph and the Tav, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Watch it. Blessed are those doing his commands. The command said, thou shalt not whore, then thou shalt not. The command said, thou shalt not thief, then thou shalt not. Thou shalt not lie and wicked, then thou shalt not. Thou shalt not bad mind and ready eye, thou shalt not. Do the commands. Blessed are those who are doing the commands. Thou shalt keep the Sabbath, then thou shalt do what? Keep the Sabbath. Guard the Sabbath. Set it apart. Thou shalt assemble on the holy days, then you do what? Assemble on the holy days. Whatever the law says to do, we do. Thou shalt not mar the side of your beard and the corners of your head, then thou shalt just not mar the sides of your beard and the corners of your head. Somebody called me the other day, them say, it's salvific. Me say, yeah. Me say, it's salvific, man. I say, boy, mine grow pitch patch. Me say for me too, so you don't worry yourself. Pray to Yahweh, ask him to make it come properly. Make it grow pitch patch. Yahweh know why it grow pitch patch. He said, don't mar the corners of your head. Don't destroy the corners of your beard. Do until you say if you do. And if you don't believe, try it. And you're going to figure out judgment day if it's salvific. Blessed are those doing his commands. So, see here now the Hebrews. The Hebrews are the ones who does his commands, so that the authority shall be theirs unto the tree of life, because that is our purpose. Trying to get back to the region beyond, because the tree of life is in the region beyond where the cherubim, the flaming cherub, is guarding. And we want to get back there. And to enter through the gates into this city. So the Hebrews are those who are endeavoring to cross over and doing everything to make them crossing and election sure. Look how Yahweh classified those who are not Hebrews now. Because there's only two classifications in a virgin. It's either you are Hebrews or you are this, where Yahweh say. And let me say. Outside, that is, they remain in the region over here. So no say go. That means that they did not cross over the waters to get to the tree of life. Outside. That name outside. And we love to ball about outside, not them outside. You wait till the outside, not them outside. Watch this. Outside are the dogs. Those who enchant with drugs that sound like Obiaman, which is becoming prevalent in Jamaica society today. Everybody have them Obiaman. Them island, them guzu. See there? The dogs. Those who enchant with drugs. See there? No me, brethren, me now pick on nobody on them sex life. See there? Those who whore. One time in my life I was whoring too. Eh? And when you read the book and you see what is considered whoring, you stop. Because you feel shame in yourself. If you're not shaming yourself, then Yahweh probably Yahweh is nowhere near you. If you're hearing all of these presentations and it don't prick you to stop, then just you should not be here. Because the Creator is nowhere near you, because there should be something in your ruach that touch you and make you feel bad. When I do presentation on man and woman and wife and husband and what is this and what is that and the Torah and sexual relations and all of these presentations, people call me a ball. I say, what now? Now that me know. I say, no, you know you do the right thing. That is a broken spirit and a contrite heart. See it here, brethren, those who whore. Those who whore, we can't be whoring. I keep telling you, men and women need to understand it. The female's vagina, yes, me say it. Jingbang them have to learn too. The female's vagina is a portal for life. It's not something to play with. It's not something to desecrate, because life comes from there. It has the ability to push out life. You don't play with that. You don't desecrate that. Did you know that in the Torah it says, if you have a container with seeds that you're going to plant, and an animal, one of those unclean animals, drop in the container, and it was wet, it said unclean because when the seed is wet, the seed is activated for germination. It says you have to dash it where you can't plant them the seed, the brethren. Then how important do you think Yahweh takes the female genitalia? You don't desecrate it. And unfortunately for us, we grew up in one culture where we never learn it. So now you know, you have to try and get it clean. Clean it up now that you know. Or leave from among us. We don't want any whoring here. Because when you whore, you carry down crosses on the whole camp. Go on about your business with your whoring. The murderers, we can't be killing people. And sometimes you hear some things now when a man preaching, you say, well, we don't have that issue. You don't know where people are doing road. You don't know who is there, who is in here, murderer and thief and wicked. We don't know what people do when they leave here and go to them house. If persons weren't engaged in it, it would not be in the word. So no murderers, no murdering. Don't love to kill. And the idolaters. And you know who are the idolaters? Let me tell you before me done. When me done talk, people not gonna like me, but me no business. Me are the watchman, and Ezekiel said the watchman must warn. The idolaters are the people who compromise. You see, once you compromise, you are letting the Creator know where your priorities lie. Who is most important to you? You compromise with your job, your employer is your God. You compromise with the school, the educator is your God. You compromise with the Sabbath and whatever your thief we ain't gonna do, that is your God. Because if Yahuwah was paramount in your life, there would be no compromise. That is idolatry. Thou shalt have no other Elohim before me. None. That means that me come first. Me alone. Me one. Me not take bun. Me not play a side chick. Me not play a matey. Me talk in a phone language so I don't understand what the Creator is saying. Me not play a second fiddle. You ever hear the song the man said, don't take my kindness for weakness? That is what Yahweh is saying. That is idolatry. A lot of us think idolatry is just when you go and you sit before a statue and you bow down before it. No, idolatry bigger than that. Some simple actions that we do is idolatry. Any compromise that we make. And I tell you again, whenever these things are being presented, no think about nobody, think about yourself. Because all of us are guilty in one way, shape, or the other. And I know for a fact that every single person sitting in here compromised with the Sabbath. And we have to get that right before anything else, because Israel have a history of going wrong with the Sabbath. And from the Sabbath get wrong, brethren, we take in everything after that. We have to get it right. No selling. Let me tell you what it means when it said to set apart the Sabbath day. Spirit at work now because sermon done long time. Let me tell you what it means when the word said to set apart the seventh day. It means that anything that you normally do on the other 6 days, not do it on the day. We must be able to look at this day and say, this day is different from all other days. So if you get up and sweep up the whole community 6 days a week, not sweep it when Sabbath comes. That's why it says a Shabbat, Shabbaton. Complete rest, cessation. If it has nothing to do with Yahuwah and his assembly, don't do it on this day. Some people them compromise with the Friday night because probably to them the Friday night not so important. Some people the 11 o'clock Bible study not so important, so them come 1 o'clock. Him they tell us a 3 hours appointment him have with you? Him they say 3 hours from 1 to 3? You see that in the law? When tell us the whole 7th day. So what else could you have possibly doing at your house make you can come here so the time when the leader said and say we are assembling at this time. You choose to come at 1. What other appointment you have more important than the fact that you and the Creator have an appointment from sunset to sunset? I mean, I talk to myself too. Because every single one of us are guilty. So we have to get it right. If we are Hebrews and we want to cross over into the land, brethren, we have to do these things. We have to become more righteous. We have to become more set apart. We have to stop the warring. Go home and read Revelation 22. You can read all the Revelation because Revelation is ram to list them out, and in every listing of the evil people in Revelation, you find it says those who whore. You ever realize that it calls something that one of the dragon the harlot? And everybody who does what the harlot says to do get burned in the lake of fire? Because if you're following the harlot, a harlot is a whore. If you're following a whore, then you are what? A whore, brethren. Call a spade a spade. You're not pretty up nothing. If you're following a whore, if you're doing the transactions of a whore, engulfed in the ways of a whore, then you are a whore. So our classification is Hebrews. We are crossing over to the region beyond, which contains the tree of life. And as such, we are required to be set apart. You can only be set apart if you do the Torah in its entirety. Yahusha said, I came to perfect the Torah. And if we in here can't perfect the Torah, brethren, if we can't even get the Sabbath day right, we know that nowhere near perfect in Torah. Might as well go out into the world and leave the Hebrew title alone, because it's not for the faint of heart.
Let us give Yahweh, O great eternal Yah, who sits high and looks low. O Yahweh, your manservant has delivered your word unto your people. O Yahweh, we humble pour our hearts unto you, our minds, our thoughts. Continue to prick our hearts, O Yah, so we can see individually in ourselves, to see where we have gone wrong, where we have polluted your day, where we have gone worrying after others, things, other gods, whatever. O Yahweh, as your manservant delivers your words unto your people, we humbly accept, O Yah, that we have gone astray and we have polluted your day. We humbly accept that we need to set things straight, that we can see your face when you returns. O Yahweh, continue to help each and every one of us to understand what you are about, that we can do your will in such a way that you can be proud of your servants. O Yahweh, as your manservant delivers the words unto your people, continue to give us the strength or the energy to see in our thoughts, in our minds, where we are still going wrong, that we humbly can cry unto you, O Yah, because you are our sustainer. And you said, if we ask, it shall be given. So, O Yah, we seek your face more and more as we listen to your words, as we pour out our hearts and cry unto you, Abba, that our life is a mess and we have gone far, far away from your truth. O Yah, let your ruach that is encamped around us continue to prick us. Let your ruach don't get weary of us being disobedient unto you. But oh yeah, we need to seek your face even more and more so your ruach can draw closer and closer. Let us be as humble as we can be. Let us look to you because you are our everything. Let each and every one of us, oh yeah, continue to search ourselves. Stop looking on our neighbors. Stop looking on our brothers. Stop looking on our sisters and search ourselves to see where we as individuals are going wrong in your truth. And continue, oh yeah, to be with us and continue to guide us and continue to keep our servant that is here, that is doing his research, and to deliver unto your people, that we can understand more and more about you, both your ancient path, about what should we do and what should we not do. So yeah, as we continue on this ancient path, help us not to get weary of this path that we are treading on. It may seem lonely at times. Families don't understand you anymore. You're like a stranger. But yeah, you said when we seek and find your ancient path, we should walk in it. So we are trying to walk in your ancient path as best as possible, but help us where we are going wrong to look into ourselves and see that time and time is getting shorter and shorter each day. And we don't know when one of us will fall out if we don't perfect your path. So as we are about to leave this session now, Father, yeah, we pray that the lunch that is prepared, that will be of some substance to our body, and it will be of some nourishment. And as we are about to leave again, we ask of you, help us to fellowship with one another, and help us to be our brother's keeper as we tell you thanks. Hallelujah.